Imagine, if you will, waking up with the side of your house missing. You know where you've seen those cartoons where it has that, doesn't it? It's the side of the house is just disappears for whatever reason, and the person's in the bath, just sitting in the bath, like kind of like that. Yeah. Well, turns out that this was a kind of real scenario in London, to be specific, Notting Hill, one of the most expensive areas to live. Some of the houses there can cost tens of millions of pounds. Now, according to that article that I just showed there, all it says is that a couple of the houses, 2 or 3 houses, had major structural issues and were basically falling apart in the early hours of the morning yesterday. Now, I think we've got, although it wasn't specific about the actual cause of this, I think we've got a case of the keeping up with the Joneses. Yeah? Not that long ago, and I don't know if you've seen something similar yourself, but years back, I think this program that I watched is actually pretty old now, but it was of this development. It was about development and developing London and all these, types of people living in Notting Hill and stuff like that, right? All getting their basements done. Yeah? So they're all getting these builders to come along and dig down as deep as they can go, as deep as they have permission for, right? And they're digging these massive, great holes so they can have basements for their pools and gyms and cinema rooms and stuff like that, because they're 4 or 5 stories up, aren't quite big enough. But what it really is they're looking around, and the neighbour has just had their basement done. And when you have got more money than sense, you've got to do what your neighbours are doing, right? You've got to keep up with the Joneses, which has meant that they're all doing it, right? All digging these big, great holes. And guess what happens when you do stuff like that, even if you've got that permission, yeah? Guess what happens, yeah? Your frigging houses start to collapse. And even in that program, I think they mentioned problems like that. So I think that's what the case is. They didn't mention it in the article, but people do all sorts, is the moral of the story, aren't they? To keep up with the neighbour, keep up with the Joneses, look like windswept aliens and have their houses fall down. Ta-ta.